Check.
Hello. Man, we are so excited about today's program. We have tremendous event and experience to share with you how to overcome pornography.
Word.
And so I'm excited to have Luke here. Luke is an incredible guy, and I've gotten to know Luke in our church. Wonderful gentleman who has such a tremendous passion for Jesus. And we both decided one day after service, we came together, we said, man, we need to talk about pornography. And it is very sensitive, you know. It is one of those topics you don't want to even talk about it in public.
Never. I don't think I've ever heard much about pornography talked about in my church or even young adults and college and career groups at all in detail.
That is incredible, and that's what we get to talk about today. So what we're going to talk about is the cause of pornography.
The cause of pornography.
Yes, the consequences of it and the cure of it. So the solution, we just don't want to talk about it, but we want to be able to give solution for it. If you don't know, right now, there are about 80% of men that are hooked to pornography. And I remember when I was 10 years old, I got exposed to pornography. And it became like a pandemic to me, a virus to me, which affected me so many ways. And even in high school, I was still very much at it. Did you know that 60% of women, I thought pornography was for men.
Definitely not. Not only.
My God, I'm like, wow, 60% of women are actually addicted to this particular thing. And so I call this a distraction. Luke, based on your experience, what do you think is the cause of pornography?
Well, based on my personal testimony, the cause of pornography is simply curiosity. And they say, well, when they say curiosity killed the cat, when pornography is a very slippery slope, and you start out soft, but it will get the devil will take a hold of you very quickly. That's was the cause of pornography for me, was simply curiosity. You know, starting maybe with some soft things in magazines, or when you're walking through the mall, you see these billboards, or you're playing video game. Other things, the causes is often forced upon people. Wow. Based on perhaps like sexual abuse in the past, or younger kids even being exposed to it unwillingly at school, so early in life, or in middle school, or whatever. So those are definitely some of the big ones, is either curiosity or coming from a past of maybe sexual abuse, or having it imposed on you.
Some of the issues that I know that most of you, or even including myself, how we started or we got addicted to it. For me, was basically being a part of a certain group at a young age, and after a movie, they put in pornography, and then they were all watching it together. That's when my eyes got open to this, and unfortunately, the memory never left me. I used to read the Toronto Sun. Back then in high school, and there's a portion of it that had Sunshine Girl, I think. And then you're looking at some of these things, and as a young person, you're getting your eyes open to so many things, and they're not good for us. What do you think is the strategy? We need to find the strategy of basically overcoming these things. But before we go on to it, let's talk about the consequences. What are some of the consequences?
Absolutely. Well, the one that is probably the one that most people will notice right away is guilt and shame and the incredible weight of it. The devil uses pornography and masturbation and the guilt that follows so much to really latch on to you and latch onto your heart, and it affects every part. When when you're filled with guilt, if you watching this, if you know what it's like to go through pornography and the guilt and the shame that follows, if you look into your life, how it will affect in turn everything that you do for the rest of the day. Say you mess up in the morning, and for the rest of the day, that shame and that guilt will not leave. That's definitely the first thing. Another thing is just if you are a Christian, it's your relationship with God. Being giving yourself up to sexual sin will it gives the devil some territory
Yeah.
and some legal grounds over your heart. Definitely. In Romans, it talks about how sexual sin is a sin which is somewhat set apart, as you're sinning against your body as well as against God, and that can definitely affect how your relationship with God is. The other thing is just a simple earthly consequences. Lots of research and statistics show that it is detrimental to marriages. Even in some teenagers' lives, it causes erectile dysfunction, believe it or not, in teenagers who are exposed for a prolonged amount of time. Degrading of both men and women, but also just limiting people's their hearts and their souls to just a body and something to be used for someone else's pleasure and advantage.
This thing is very real. It is affecting a whole generation. The whole thing is, let's hide in darkness. Let's remain in darkness and not really do anything about it.
It's very much a place like that. I can remember that when I was going through it, I did not have any idea that, according to statistics, about 55% of young adults and youth are currently in a habit or addiction of pornography. I thought I was the only one. Because we don't talk about it, and we don't reach out, and we don't confess these things to one another, because we don't know that we almost are all dealing with it.
Yeah. As I read that scripture on in Samuel, when David went to the top of the roof and looking at the woman, one of the things you find out is that it damaged his relationship. It damaged his relationship to the point where there was compounding lies and compounding issues and things that he ended up even killing the husband.
Killed his friend, yeah.
Yeah. And I could see that the husband was dear to David, but yet because of what he has done, he ended up killing this man. You come to a point where it's like memories. It affects your emotions. Memories in a way that you have like virtual sex partners and imaginary sex partners that I remember even in high school. I could actually remember the face of some of these people that I was watching.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go to bed in the night without even watching pornography.
Absolutely. It's a haunting thing, as even if you are able to come out of the pit of pornography, expect it to be a process of healing. I still am haunted in my dreams just the same way by the things that I've seen years ago. And I don't know if those things will ever leave.
Wow. The mind is a battlefield. The mind is where it's like the stronghold. is. So when pornography gets into the mind, it can actually get rooted deeply if we don't pluck it out right away, or if we don't seek help right away. And so it will haunt you, it will disturb you, and your mind is wandering around to the point where the pictures become so vivid in your mind. But like you said, we thank God for the grace of God that actually redeemed us and brought us out. And now we can actually talk about it, and to be able to help others with our experience, what we've gone through. So we do have a responsibility here, men of God. We have responsibility to really make sure that this mind is washed, it's clean, and therefore we can think towards women with honor, dignity, and respect. Yeah, so talking about the cure, what do you think we need as a porn strategy plan?
It's such a process, and I can't say that there was one particular thing that stopped it. You know, I think that during my entire struggle, I would look for that antidote, just the one vaccine. You take it, and
Yeah.
temptation is gone, and you can tell people then by your testimony. It's like, I used to be into pornography, but then this one thing.
Yeah.
No, I have kind of like what you said, a little bit of a strategy plan that I've been able to come up with. The first one, and possibly one of the hardest things, definitely, it was one of the hardest things for me, and might be the hardest thing for you watching if you are in the habit of. But the first thing is to tell someone.
Wow.
We cannot go through this battle alone, and what you need to understand is that you are not alone in this battle. There are so many people that are going through it, and I can tell you who I told the closest brother in Christ that I have.
Wow.
A very close friend of mine, and the other one was my parents.
Yeah.
That one was hard. That one was really hard, actually. The guilt and shame was still there when I told them. If you can tell someone, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't have to be your parents. It doesn't have to be a pastor, but tell someone so that you can get it out there.
Yeah.
So much of what you go through and what I went through was because I did it alone for so long.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12 to 13 says, if you think you are standing strong, be careful not to fall. The temptations in your life are no different from what others experience. And God is faithful. He will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, He will show you a way out. And you're right, because we need others.
Absolutely.
We need people that can help us and take us by the hand. You need somebody that says, I'm here for you, that you can count on me. We need accountability.
And it does not have to be somebody either that is whitewashed and pure themselves. I can remember conversations and nights where I would be with a friend and we would just be almost crying together because we were both going through the same thing. Wow. We didn't necessarily have an answer, but we were in it together. And that's an amazing place of being in the process of becoming free. We didn't know it then. We were in the depths of our bad habits and addiction, but we were in it together, which is worth so much, and God is going to use that to do good things.
I need to surround myself with a community of people that are believers. I need to surround myself. I remember this guy that I confided in. He helped me so much. The guy spoke into my life and gave me a sense of purpose and direction in life. So we need a community of believers around us to hold us up to help us to overcome these challenges. Please, I beseech you, don't fight alone. Wow, wow, that's so incredible. Maybe at this time you can be thinking of who in my life, who is there right now for me? Who is that person that I can count on? Who's that person that you can trust? Say, this person can keep this as between me and them. And so, unfortunately, some people, though, when you share something with them, that is your what your struggles, and then they end up sharing with others. What do you think about that? Or maybe you've been hurt before based on something like that, and now we are saying, open up to somebody.
Yeah, that I personally, I don't think I have had that happen to me. Maybe I have, and I just don't know about it. But um, for something like that is a part of understanding. I think beginning to understand your new identity in Christ. I have a word here that helped me so much. It was shortly after I had become free and was ridding myself, and this was also shortly after I had confessed to some people what I had done, and this piece of scripture really came out to me.
Sure.
From Isaiah chapter 43. It says, "Forget what happened in the past,
Wow.
and do not dwell on events from long ago. I am doing something new."
Wow.
And that word "new" really stuck out to me, because when you are free finally and you come out of that pit, even if you're just in the process of coming out that pit, you're not totally free yet, you are becoming a new creation.
Wow.
And you have to own that. You have to own that freedom. And do not let Satan come at you in your face with the things that you used to do and the guilt that used to bring. That is the old you, and those are things of old. And if God has forgotten those things, then there's no way that you should be remembering those things and letting that guilt stay with you, no matter if the people try to bring judgment on you. So another tactic that I can see that has helped me so much is plain and simple, just prayer. Being in prayer with God, and being specific about your prayer. You don't have to hide anything from Him. If you are currently in a state where you have been free for a few days and you've been good, and this fear is still there that you're going to fall back into it, bring that to God, and don't keep that feeling, and don't keep that fear to yourself. Say, "God, I am scared of falling back into this sin. Do not let me fall back into this sin." We need to be specific when we're praying, and God will truly help us. So many times where I've been in the beginning stages of temptation, just in a day when you're just on your phone or you're just on your laptop or something like that. And if you do pray in that time, God is faithful to rescue us if we'll turn to Him. Another thing that I'll reference another Bible verse here from Romans chapter 6. It says, "Never offer any part of your body to sin's power. No part of your body should ever be used to do any ungodly thing. Instead, offer yourselves to God as people who have come back from death and are now alive." So something, a tactic that has been incredibly helpful for me is working out. Is plain and simple. Just that simple act for me has been amazing and pivotal in so many ways to turn my body away from doing things that are dishonorable. We know, like masturbation and using your eyes and filling them with junk, right? And doing something that is honorable to God. And even being able to, I would work out by myself. I wouldn't go to a gym. I would work out in my basement, the same place where I would used to look at porn. In the secret place is where I think a man's heart is truly tested and is truly shown. So while I would work out, I would pray to God for healing and for release from temptation. And it was amazing and just an incredible thing to experience and to still be experiencing as I choose to honor God with my body and continually to stay disciplined in saying yes to what is right. I am in turn disciplined in saying no to what is wrong.
Our bodies are temples of God. So if this body is a temple of God and God dwells in it, we need to honor him with the body.
So I just have two more things, but I think they can kind of be bundled up to one.
Okay.
Stop temptation quickly before it starts to fester and before it starts to grow stronger.
Wow.
And also cut off the head. These two go together. So I'm getting it from the story of David and Goliath.
Wow.
When David hit Goliath with the stone
Yeah.
and knocked Goliath down, we often stop the story there, right?
Wow.
The giant has been taken down.
Yeah.
So if you right now are in a place where you've been free for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, the giant is down. But what we often skip over the part is that David, after he had struck down the giant, he ran up to the giant and he cut off his head. And it says in the Bible, he cut off his head to make sure it was dead. That is something that we need to do if we were to relate David and Goliath's story to our story, where pornography and masturbation is our giant, we can take it down, and we've been free from it for a while. But we need to take all measures necessary in order to cut off the head. So that includes finding the things that trigger your desires and your lusts, whether that be video games. Oddly enough, for me, there's a couple video games, and they're not even sex-related or anything like that, but I found that they trigger me.
Wow. Okay.
For some reason, Need for Speed triggers me. I don't understand why, but it does. So I stopped playing Need for Speed because I have to cut off the head and reduce all chances of the devil coming at me and tempting me. If it's walking through the mall, you see these billboards. If it's certain shows you watch with certain characters in it that bring you to temptation, you need to cut off the head.
That's right.
You need to cut off the head. If you want to stay free from sexual sin, and if you want to continue the healing process of being victorious and triumphant, we need to cut off the head to make sure that the giant is dead.
Wow. Man, people, this is incredible. Cut off the head. Now, yours might not be a video game, but could it be something that you watch on your cell phone, on YouTube, on the internet somewhere, that you need to cut off right now? Let's read this. I want to read this because look, you man. You trigger something good in me. Something good.
Well, that's good. We want to trigger good things.
Something good. So the Bible says, this is incredible. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 22 says, run from anything that stimulates your youthful lust. Instead, pursue righteousness or righteous living, faithfulness, love, and peace. Enjoy the companionship of those who call on the Lord with pure hearts. Can you believe that? God is saying, run away. Run from these lusts, because they will trigger. They will trigger you. They will cause you to actually go back into something you're running away from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we need to actually run away from them if you can identify them. And I think it's important to identify them right now. You can identify the things that are triggering you to do things that your body is going to suffer or be in shame for. But one day, as I was watching, a voice spoke to me and said, I am calling you to actually save the lost. But right now, you are watching these people that I am trying to save.
Yeah.
Man, that changed my life.
tactics. I can run over that quickly again. First one is tell somebody. Tell somebody what you're going through. It is one of the, for me, I think of what is one of the hardest things to do. The hardest thing, because it's very humbling, and it really brings the shame up to the surface. The other thing is pray. We need to pray for God to protect us from the devil, because he's going to leech his way in to every place he can.
That's good.
The other thing is to honor instead of dishonor. So rather than using our body and offering it up to sin, let's think of ways that we can offer it up to glory, to glorify God instead.
Yeah.
And in turn, I can tell you from my own testimony that it has played in a huge role in me turning away from dishonoring my body in God's sight and being able to honor him instead. And the last thing is to quickly shut down temptation by cutting off the head of this giant that we are facing.
Wow.
If you right now are in a little stint of freedom, we want to take joy with you in that and congratulate you. I am so happy for you, because I know exactly how you feel. And now is the time. Now is a time. Right now. It doesn't start tomorrow. It starts tonight to cut off the head. After this video is done, surely I tell you that the enemy was going to try. He's going to try to come and take over you. And that giant is going to try to get back up again. You may have struck him down, but he's going to try to get back up again. We need to run up to that giant. We need to cut off the head. You need to find the things that trigger you. It might be things that you don't want to cut out of your life, but you have to cut them out of your life if you truly want to defeat this giant. If you're watching over, just and you're going through this as well, or if you know anybody who is going through this, you can pray for them as well. But let's just pray together to God. Lord God, I thank you for this evening, and I thank you that people have chosen to take their time to watch this video, God. And for sure, this is an honorable video to watch, God, and I pray that you would be working in the hearts of anybody who is watching right now and is currently in a pit of lust or shame, of pornography, from masturbation, from whatever sexual sin that they are in, God. I pray that your peace and your joy would overwhelm them in this time, God, and that you would be able to affirm their identity, Lord, that you would tell them that they are a new creation in you, Jesus. And I pray that walking forward from this video, God, that they would claim that they would plant that flag in their heart and in their soul, that they are a new creation in you, Jesus. I pray that you would bind and cage the devil away from the hearts of these people who are watching. God, I pray that temptation would not come at their door. But if it does come at their door, God, that you would give them the strength and the discipline that they need in order to fight against this evil that is raging against us. Lord, I just pray for complete restoration for anybody who is currently going through this. I know how they feel, and Akosa knows how they feels. And even you, Jesus, you know how they feel. God, and I pray that you would comfort them in this time. And we pray for victory, God. Yes. In Jesus' name. We pray for victory over pornography. Yes. In Jesus' name.
Thank you, Jesus.
If you want, you can just pray this over yourself. I pray for victory.
I pray for victory.
From pornography, from masturbation, from shame and lust, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I want to share a couple of resources. If you're still watching, I greatly encourage you to use your Google search engine for something honorable. Let's start right
Yes.
after this video ends.
Yes.
Google, if you're going through this right now and you want to see healing happen and you want to
Yes.
see change happen, it starts tonight. So I encourage you to go into your Google search engine right after this,
Yes.
type in prayer for sexual healing.
Wow.
That's the way you want to say it, word it, prayer for sexual healing. I believe it's the first link that shows up is going to be one from a website called Wild at Heart. And they have an awesome little prayer session there for you to just read through, and they will help you to start this process of sexual healing.
Wow.
By praying through confession and reconciliation and renewing of our heart and our mind. So use Google for something good tonight and type in prayer for sexual healing if you would. Another thing is that if you're into reading, there's a book called Every Young Man's Battle. There's also a book for older men called Every Man's Battle. They are books by Stephen Arterburn and Fred Stoker. You got to check those books out. They give you awesome tactics and testimonies also for overcoming sexual sin.
Wow. I want to let you know that you are more than a conqueror. You are victorious, and you are in the right direction right now. May the Lord bless you and keep you and strengthen you.
Yep,
May He
amen.
be with you and a shield around you. Yes, go ahead. You're going to say
Ditto. Awesome. We pray for victory.
Yes.
And pray that you would take fullness of joy in that
Yes.
victory. May you continue to go on, as it says in
Yes.
1 Timothy 6:12, fight the good fight.
Yes, fight the good fight. It's a good fight, okay? So don't quit, don't stop, knowing that you have brothers here for you. We are here for you. We're here for one another. If you're a lady struggling, send us a message. We'll get a lady for you to help you through the struggle. It is real, but we believe that God has given us victory, okay? Jesus is the cure for the pandemic of pornography. God bless you. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.